getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. We'll have to stop her, let's have a whopper, but get me to the church on time. I've got to be there in the morning, spruced up and looking in my prime. Girls, come and kiss me, show me you'll miss me, but get me to the church on time. If I am dancing, roll up that floor. If I am whistling, push me out the door. I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. Kick up a rumpus, don't lose that compass. Get me to the church, get me to the church. For Pete's sake, get me to the church on time. I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. Pull out the stopper, let's have a...
He said, get back to me as soon as you can, and he hung up. And I said, thank you, Sammy, I really appreciate that.
Who was gonna be there?
All three of them, Frank, Dean, and Sammy. And I said, did you say you, Frank, and Dean are going to be there last week in January? He said, yeah. I said, you don't mean at the same time? He said, oh, yes. I said, you mean the three of you are going to be on stage at the Sands at the same time? He said, right. I said, you're going to need an M34 tank to get into Vegas if that ever happens. And of course it did. And the marquee read Frank, Dean, Sammy. No last names, right? And it was pandemonium. It was like nothing I've ever seen. In any event, that is how I got to meet Dean. And the only thing I can tell you about Dean is that he was funnier than Jerry Lewis ever thought of me, because he was hysterical on the natural. He was so spontaneous, it was unbelievable. The night the three of them opened, Sinatra hit the stage first, and then Dean Martin came out shortly after, carrying Sammy in his arms. He goes to the microphone and he says, I want to thank the NAACP for granting me this trophy. I mean, it was, the audience fell out of their chairs. It was hysterically funny. And he, I just can't tell you how often I ran into him, and he would be so spontaneous. One night, the Celebrity Theater in the Sands Hotel had just opened. I was working, as I mentioned, performing there working with Vito Russo. And Dean Martin was appearing in the showroom. This is many months later. And he was dragging a dancer by the name of Silky along with him, right? He's hunching over as he's walking through the backside of the lounge. He didn't want to go through the casino because he'd be marred. And so anyway, as he was walking through, I saw him coming, right? I'm sitting in a booth with a couple of people, including Stan Irwin, the entertainment director of the Del Webb Corporation. And as he was passing, I grabbed him by the arm and I said, Dean, you know Stan? He looks at me and says, no, you know Stan. And that was just so typical of him.